the Humans of Hemp podcast. Be part of the conversations we've never had and the stories we've never shared. So, let's dive in.
Humans of Hemp Edition 1.
Thank you for having me here.
As we have it, you're the best person to talk, and that's what the viewers will be interested to know.
Sure.
The law and order
Right.
and chaos.
Right.
Let's call it that.
That's a perfect one. Yes, nice. That's
Yeah.
no. So, very importantly, to break it up, the first important thing we need to clarify to any audience that we are, voicing our opinion to or understanding to is everything we are talking about cannabis does not fall under NDPS. We need to be very clear on how the part of the plant is different and what law actually governs which part of the plant.
Yes.
Because if everything stems from the NDPS and if all thoughts only stop there, then we are not able to decentralize any perception issues.
True.
We are going to only come to the back to the origin, narcotic act.
Yeah.
So if you can break for the viewers the different parts and how each part plays what regulatory role, that would be the best start, I believe, in this podcast that we are having, where flower and charas are the only two things in the NDPS which are regulated and which are termed as narcotic. Except the seeds, the fiber, the stalk and the leaves. All of that are part of other laws and other regulations, either state or central. That is what the breakup of this plant is. So when any person talks about NDPS Act, it should only be limited to the flower and the resin, which is the charas ka usage. That's what the central government regulates, but still gives the power to the state government to regulate in the form of cultivation, manufacturing, selling, possession and transportation. So power central ने रखी है, पर state को दी है to apply it in the way they want it.
Okay.
That is the most important thing.
So
हाँ
I
जी.
have a question here.
Please.
Since you are saying कि स्टेट के अपने लॉज है, उन्होंने तो लिख दिया है
Right.
क्लियरली
हाँ.
कि स्टेट अपना पॉलिसी बना गया.
Right.
स्टेट पॉलिसी बनाने के लिए लेजिस्लेटिवली एक हेम्प कमेटी बनाती है
Right.
और वो जाते हैं सेंट्रल मिनिस्ट्री के पास वापस की
Correct.
हमें हेल्प कीजिए या जो भी
Right.
फॉर्मली,
Right.
और वहाँ से डिनायल आता है.
Right.
तो इस केस में व्हाट आर वी मिसिंग?
The only thing is missing is the actual risk-taking step. Every government wants to be so safe with this, issue or this subject that they have questions themselves of how to make this happen. And when they have a state clarity answer also, like, if the IAS and the principal secretary tells you that, sir, ye power hai, just to be double safe, they will write to the central government. They will write to the narcotic commissioner. Okay, sir, do I have this actual power? Do you have any obligations on us? So the answer is the topic itself and the problems around the topic, if any step favorable or unfavorable is taken around cannabis.
Yeah.
That reassurance that this is within my power, it's so surprising for them. It's my order that actually can allow it, is not something that the state is able to understand and digest.
Or are they not sensitized enough about the topic or they get very
Definitely.
scared because of the name and the leaf and the
Correct.
pop culture references?
Absolutely. That's exactly what the point is. The state is going to the central government asking for definition and clarity, what is already mentioned in the NDPS.
Yes.
And the central government is delaying and not answering it, saying that मैं क्या answer दूँ जब आपको power state में दिया है. So that reclarification is seen to be a problem, saying that the state is not getting clarity. But the center is clearly saying that I'm not going to give any clarity statement because you are good enough an understanding of the law. You already have your IAS officer to understand it. Why are you coming and asking me? The plain role of the government is not to explain or clarify anything which is not their subject. That's how a GST officer also works.
Yes.
The central GST, central excise. You don't come to me and ask me what is state excise. Because what I tell you, the state will never do.
Yeah.
And that state already knows that. So it is the topic, it is the most important, the understanding that the secretary gives to the ministers. That is very important. The ministers do not know the law or understand the law clearly. The secretary, the commissioner, the people around him are the ones who frame a thought process. When they only say, sir, ये तो बहुत ही risky topic है, sir, इसको तो central government से permission लेना पड़ेगा.
Yeah.
Because they also come with the only thing, narcotic, central government.
Yeah.
They themselves do not take the time to break down the law, understand the law. We have seen that in Madhya Pradesh. I've seen that in Uttarakhand. Saying, "Arey, we want to import." You tell me.
Yeah.
Arey, but there is no power that the central government has. Why are you asking and triggering him to give you more answers and that is increasing more jurisdiction for them.
Yeah.
So that is the real issue over here. It is the topic, it is the education and awareness, and the information that goes to the the political person that this can be done, not done, is not giving the clarity, man. That is the biggest problem.
Also, does the center have the power to strike down once a law is passed or anything like that?
No.
Or they cannot approve in some state that what is the policy? I don't approve it. Cancel.
The central government has only two powers: import, export.
Yeah.
When you're exporting flower, importing THC, exporting THC, central government has complete power.
Yeah.
State has no power. If I grow flowers and if I want to interstate transport it, interstate is within the country, state has all the powers. But the accepting state has to also give a power कि मेरे स्टेट में से पास होगा,
Yes.
मैं ट्रांसपोर्ट का पर्ची दूंगा,
Correct.
वो पावर स्टेट के पास है. वो स्टेट ब्लॉक कर सकता है एक स्टेट से. सेंट्रल कुछ भी ब्लॉक नहीं कर सकता एक्सेप्ट import export. And second is quota. Section 67 of the NDPS Act says that there's a quota required for every state government to allow what is to be manufactured and what is to be cultivated. That is the most important thing that no state government knows. What can be slashed down is that, did you get a quota from me?
Yeah.
कल आपने हिमाचल में 500 किलो उगा दिया और आपके कोटा ही नहीं है, फिर गवर्नमेंट आके बोलेगी भाई आपने तो कोटा लिया नहीं है, अभी आप क्या करोगे? That's when the central government can come and slash out. But if you use the section 67 of the NDPS Act, the state government preemptively can get a quota, and the quota has no barrier and no ceiling. You can take 1,000 kilos and you can take 5,000 kilos. But you tell them कि भाई ये होना है और ये रीजन के लिए होना है. मैं इतना मेडिसिनल यूज करूंगा, इतना एक्सपोर्ट करूंगा. Some kind of a blueprint has to be given.
Yes.
You can't say I live in 1 lakh hectares. I don't know where I'm growing, what I'm doing. Just give me quota. They will not give you. Any narcotic, any psychotropic, जो substances है, and NDPS पे narcotic is the definition of cannabis, and psychotropic is THC. So THC is a compound, is a schedule 1 of psychotropic list.
Yes.
So if you want to import export THC, psychotropics. That's why central government will come. If you want to import export cannabis, narcotic. Central government in the picture. So every state government has the obligation and the responsibility to go to the center to get that quota first and then only allow cannabis cultivation. That's what happened in Madhya Pradesh when they were forming the law. They were almost passing the bill or passing the policy without having the power to go to the central government asking for a quota. And that should happen before. So that there is no problem in the latter. आपने उगा लिया और बाद में आप कोटा लेने भाग रहे हो, फिर गवर्नमेंट बोलेगा अरे आप तो मिसयूज करने वाले हो, या then they can put queries. Then they can doubt intentions. But if you plan it before, there's complete power the state has, and the central government has the obligation to give you the power to allow cultivation for medicinal and for research purposes. Uttarakhand does not fall under that right now because it's section 14.
Yes.
So very simple clarification, there are two NDPS clauses that govern cannabis. One is section 10 and section 14. 10 is medicinal and research purposes.
Yes.
Anything to do with research, if Uttarakhand wants to do research, UP wants to do research, and what we are doing also as an institute research, it only comes from the central government direction to the state saying you can give any institute license to do research.
Yes.
Under section 10.
Yes.
If you want to cultivate it for commercial usage, then the section 14 only comes in, where you can use it for fiber and for seed purposes only, for horticulture or for industry. So these are the parts which are limited to these usages. It cannot be that industrial hemp directly allows me to use the flower.
Yes.
Because if I use the flower, I can only be using it for medicinal purposes and not for industrial purposes.
Yes.
As per the law. And that clarification is what anyone is missing out here. Remember this conversation that I had with someone? We need to always tell the government we are not replacing anything.
Yeah.
We are complementing something. The day you tell them you are replacing cotton, because lobbies get up.
Yes.
The people who are already in this industry get up and say, "Arey yaar, ये तो replacing की बात कर रहे हैं, ये तो मेरा business को हाथ लगाने वाला है." Complementing is what you have to say. Sir, it's a rotational crop.
Correct.
It will make your crop better. It's a supplementing income crop. It will make apple orchards earn better because you can grow in the gap of an apple orchard. Nothing else grows. You can grow cannabis. So that will supplement your income. But if you say no, apple orchard को काटूंगा मैं cannabis उगाऊंगा, then there's a problem. So always like any change requires first flexibility, and then it has to become a change. What companies are doing and what companies want to do is have a framework where the government gets more confidence on how to monitor it.
Yes.
Today the government is thinking permission दे दिया, excise department तो कम ही लोग हैं, अभी वो कितना कितना चेंज देखेंगे और एक मॉनिटर करेंगे. We need to create a backward integration जहाँ पे somewhere some technology comes in to monitor everything that the company is doing or anything the government is doing. If that integration can be done, and there are 1 or 2 companies who are planning to do a model of a trial कि camera हो या जो भी हो, I don't know what technology they use, but at least there's a clear accountability.
With the Internet of Things, why not?
Accountability है ना.
And your barcode, your various
Exactly.
elements, everything.
If a farmer gets a license for 1 acre and if he grows 2 acres, something can capture that and something can say that 1 acre में तो इतने output होना चाहिए. आपका इतना कैसे निकला? Which means that you are differentiating the black and the white. If we can have such SOPs or frameworks, which the government cannot understand right now because they are not experts of the plant. We need to tell them, sir, this is what the output should be. This is how you should be testing the dry weight, testing the green weight. All these things have been framed, and anything that we are doing right now is not a like a new law that we are creating. It's just making a law as per the state requirements, and that is what has to be done. Every problem is उत्तराखंड ने क्या किया मैं नहीं कर सकता. वहाँ पे पूरा thinking stop हो रहा है because that failure happened because of these issues of the state. First thing, industrial hemp cannot be excised.
Yeah.
Very important.
Yes.
Example of sugarcane.
Yes.
If I make sugarcane excise because it equals to liquor, then sugarcane industry khatam. Because excise department say, "अरे sugarcane जातो काटो." But hemp is not hemp is exactly like that.
Yeah.
It's growing for industrial purpose, but you're looking at it as a police and a narcotic purpose.
Yeah.
Then how are you going to grow the plant?
Yes.
The farmer has to get a subsidy, not excise department doesn't give farmer a subsidy, right? So Indian आप research करो मैं आपको पैसा दूंगा. वो बोलेगा क्या है भाई इसको कम करो. कम उगाओ. Next year और कम उगाओ.
Yes.
उसका burden बढ़ रहा है ना उसका stress बढ़ रहा है to actually go and to monitor. So we have to place the plant right in the right departments.
Yes.
They cannot have the lens only to see for agriculture.
Yes. How
will they say how to promote this plant?
Underpowered.
So if we can directly reach to the minister and saying, sir, this has to be done. These are the powers. Your person has to do it. There are 10 reasons of how to not to do it. Everything has to be with reasons of yes or no.
Yes.
In this, there are 10 complicated reasons. But there are 9 out of 10 solutions also.
Yes.
Let's talk about solutions and not complications. And that cannot come from secretary. Because he is only going to say, sir, problem.
Yes.
Sir, problem. Sir, difficulty. Sir, central. Khatam.
Why do you think legalization movements sort of feel like other communities too stereotyping themselves and consumers can't associate themselves? Or is it petitions come together, the online buzz is created? Is there a sort of thing that will move?
Very simple way of understanding is that this plant is always known for one purpose.
Yeah.
And if the same people say a different purpose, the consumer gets confused.
Yes.
अरे तू तो पीने की बात कर रहा था आज बोल रहा है मेडिसिन है.
Yeah.
What is wrong?
Yes.
Something is wrong.
Yes.
The same stakeholder can say 2 different messages.
Yes.
As an industry, I can't say, sir, medicinal, sir, recreational, sir, industrial. भाई तू तो खाली इतना ही जानता है ना, तुझे तो पैसे बनाना है, तो तू रॉ मटेरियल की बात कर या बिजनेस की बात कर. अभी मैं बोलूँगा सर नो मेडिसिन, आई एम वेरी knowledgeable, I know everything. A doctor can only talk about medicinal.
Yeah.
We need to get the right people to talk the right things.
And also, I think our country in the understands economic.
Yeah. Let the builder century guy talk about textiles. No, why am I talking about textiles? Let the pharmaceutical industry giant talk about medicines. No?
Yes.
Who are we to grow also talk about textiles also talk about medicine also? By kuch to either you are Guruji or you are a big faff.
Yes.
And only faff is what is looked at as a first reaction of the government or anyone. अगर आप भांग बेचते हो या भांग पीने आए हो, दो में से एक है. क्योंकि आप लगते वही हो. पर कोई साइंटिस्ट कल मीटिंग में बैठेगा उसको नहीं बोल सकते भांग पीने आए बैठे हैं. सर भांग में कुछ प्रॉपर्टीज है क्या? ओके, you know. And I've seen that. A doctor in a meeting, different reception. And you should not be the industry who wants to have a doctor and you only talk in doctor standing next to you. Let the doctor talk about the science. Let the doctor talk about medicine. You have to get the educated stakeholders to represent. The messaging has to be very clear.
Yes.
The face of the message has to be very clear. And that is what this organization is failing. And anyone who is attempting to also begin the organization only gets stakeholders.
Yes.
Do not get only industry.
Yeah.
Because the more you show industry, the more the failure it is.
Yes.
Because it's only looked at ulterior motive.
Yes.
Or only like तेरा घर का फायदा होने वाला है, मेरा घर का क्या होने वाला है. Everyone has a house and everyone has a room in it.
Yes, and everybody has an expert in their own field and then.
Please do not come into my lab.
Yes.
Who are you? Industry, stay out. I'll give you a product, sell that.
Yes.
अभी मैं रिसर्च करूंगा, मैं ही करूंगा. Partner with someone, ना?
Yeah.
Partner with a scientific.
Collaboration is very important.
Collaboration करना ही चाहते लोग. क्योंकि वो अगर बढ़ेगा और 10 लोग को बोलेगा और उसके 10 इंस्टीट्यूट में लोग काम करेंगे तो आपका ही बेनिफिट होने वाला है.
Correct.
इंडस्ट्री बढ़ेगा, आपको 2 अच्छे साइंटिस्ट मिलेंगे काम करने के लिए. आपके साइंटिस्ट डालने में आपको तो नहीं होगा.
Yeah.
So those things are very important, and right now the research is only with the government. That's a big limitation. I cannot prioritize the research to any organization who is doing into seed or into clinical trials. It's mostly with the government. How do we get the privates into it? And the big privates, the right privates. Like if Tata Memorial Central Hospital says I want to do research on cancer, they cannot say no to them.
Correct.
Reputed and credible. That is what is lacking, reputation and credibility. This industry is not, we cannot bring that reputation and credibility. We only need people.
Yes.
People like what you are doing, the stakeholders that you are bringing on the table. This is the only way to do it. It's an army.
Yeah.
Like,
and everybody specializes in their own field.
सिपाही, कर्नल, ब्रिगेडियर सब अलग होते हैं. हम लोग में सब लोग एक ही है. ब्रिगेडियर चाहिए तो ब्रिगेडियर का रोल निकालते हैं, सिपाही जो सिपाही का. ऐसा तो काम नहीं होता ना भाई. कितना रोल करोगे? आदमी तो डाउट करेगा कि कुछ तो प्रॉब्लम चल रहा है इसमें.
That's true.
So
I mean,
yeah,
your efforts with Pimcha has also been the same. And I mean, you're really successful to some extent, I feel.
To an extent.
Because, but like I feel that this is reaching a like वो glass ceiling होता है ना corporate
absolutely.
कि इतना ही कर सकते हैं.
इतना ही कर
इससे ऊपर करने के लिए थोड़ा और, that stakeholder collaboration and.
Absolutely. A person has suffered cancer.
Yes.
She talks about it.
Yes.
It helped me.
Yeah.
People can generate that understanding and belief, ना. डॉक्टर ऑर्थो का एग्जांपल मैंने किसी ने बोला मुझे, जब जावेद अख्तर ने डॉक्टर ऑर्थो का टील प्रमोट किया ना, सब लोग फैन हो गए. क्योंकि they can relate with जावेद अख्तर ना, that guy is old, that guy has that problem, he has that solution from that. हम लोग को खाली credibility face वहाँ पे भी चाहिए.
Yes.
This industry doesn't require only faces.
Yeah.
But the problem is that if BOHECO makes that statement now, it will be only looked at BOHECO's products.
Yeah.
And that is the worst thing.
Yes.
Let's make it a cannabis product. Let's make it a product for everyone.
Yes.
She has benefited from cannabis, not my oil or not your oil. I don't know.
That's the kind of stories you want to tell, actually.
That is exactly what is required.
Yeah.
The problem is we are only creating brands for our own, industry, for our own benefit.
Yeah.
We are not creating brands for anyone, to actually get the understanding of what the purpose of the brand is, or the messaging of the brand is. A simple example of linen, which I always tell everyone. When Aditya Birla or Jashi Textiles started linen, if they would have started linen club first, and then they would have come to linen fiber, you would have known where linen would be.
Yeah.
They started the fiber, they made the yarn, they made the fabric, and then the linen club came.
Yes.
It's a natural flow, right?
Yes.
It flows from the back end to the front end.
Yeah.
This industry is flowing ulta.
Yeah.
This industry is flowing from the brand to the manufacturer to the farmer to the policy maker. How can that happen?
Yeah.
Nothing can happen like that. You will have to move a rock or a mountain to make that happen. First you need to go find a glacier ना, वो glacier में से पानी निकलते हैं ना भाई.
Correct.
पत्थर तोड़ोगे तो पानी निकलेगा.
उल्टा हो जाएगा ना.
तो यहाँ पे पत्थर तोड़ने बैठ गए लोग.
So
that is to be something, we have to like understand that and accept it कि भाई we need more back end. We need policy minds. We need legal people to come in.
Yes.
We need doctors to say, hi, this has to be controlled, this dosage has to be there, this ml has to be there. We are deciding. मैं बोल रहा हूँ mg is equal to 500 mg is very good.
तो फिर वही तो
कौन है भाई? क्यों बोल रहा है 500 mg?
हाँ.
वहाँ पे क्वेश्चन, वहाँ पे आदमी चले जाएगा, वापस आएगा भी नहीं. बोले ये तो
बेच रहा है कुछ.
बेच रहा है ब्रो. डॉक्टर खड़ा रहेगा, उसको बोलेंगे, वो समझ के आएगा, वो क्लियर इंस्ट्रक्शन देगा. कुछ नहीं, 5 में से 2 चले जाएंगे, पर 3 तो रोकेंगे और समझेंगे भाई डॉक्टर बोल रहा है यार, सुनना है. That's what
I also believe कि movements should have that, feeling of being collective and not just driven by one section or one stereotyping.
Absolutely.
But more on.
And that's what Humans of Hemp needs to do it. Get these stakeholders first.
Yes, the educators and the experts.
Don't get the brands.
Yes.
Brands are only going to make one step possible.
Yeah.
But when you are climbing the summit now, the base 3 and the base 4 is the most important.
Yes.
Brand will take you to base 1.
Yes.
But
actually, like if you see the pyramid, brands are forming the base.
Exactly.
But it will flow down to the brands ultimately.
Exactly.
Yes.
Who is doing on the policy? Which
Yes.
company is doing research on seeds? Everyone's talking about importing seeds. Importing seeds is not happening.
What about land races? What about
land
the
land
Indian-
is who's talking about it? Use करना. Research करने के लिए 3 साल
Yeah.
लगता है पर करना भाई.
Yeah.
Cultivation policies करने से पैसा नहीं आने वाला है. Research करने से policy पैसा बनेगा.
Yes, yes.
So that is the most important thing.
True.
Research is the fundamentals of any business and industry, and we are only copying.
Yeah.
This industry is भाई आपने कितना किया चलो कॉपी करो. आपके मैन्युफैक्चर में पहुंच जाऊंगा मुझे सस्ते में मिलेगा मैं बेच दूंगा. मैं ब्रांड बना दो. ब्रांड बनाने का तो कुछ ग्रेड ही नहीं है भाई.
Yeah.
तो 10 लाख रुपए डालना है और 50 लाख डालना है ब्रांड बन गया कल.
I think that's the only point where I always have synced with you in our conversations also. Get it to the research
Yeah.
level and then talk about implementation.
It
Because-
took a long lot of time for us to understand
Yes, yes.
because we also started like that.
Yes.
But something we had to do to
Yes.
make some possibilities. So that's why we are now relearning.
Yeah.
But this
you
is the
have
only
but you have the bandwidth and you have the platform.
yeah.
And I mean, I've seen the industry since I've been in 2013 when I was first introduced to the industry.
Right.
I understood, yeah, this is where we are failing. When I see
Absolutely.
the wrong kind of, marketing and branding and
People are
all
interested
those
how to break
psychedelic,
Instagram ad is what they want to crack.
Yes.
अरे crack of good research ना भाई.
Yes.
वो Instagram ad खुद ही promote कर लेगा उसको. No, just like last finishing touch if I can add is that everyone is very responsible for what we are trying to achieve in this industry.
Yeah.
Everyone's objective has to be shared and everyone's objective has to be divided rightly.
Yeah.
If you think it's only yours to achieve that, again we are failing. So only someone like you guys being neutral,
Yeah.
being outside from bird eye perspective looks at it and brings the right ecosystem together, then things can move.
Correct.
And everyone is supporting this.
Yeah.
It's just that they are not vocal about it. But when you make a movement happen ना थोड़ा earthquake में हिला ना जोल्ट आया ना तभी सब हिल जाएंगे and then we'll say like this is the right sense. They're not understanding it because it's a very like a closed understanding that everyone has. It's like restricted है, competitive है. Everyone is just fearing competition.
Yeah.
They're not understanding collaboration का benefit क्या है. पाई को कैसे बढ़ाने का benefit कितना है. जब बाबा रामदेव launched पतंजलि, Ayurveda market grew by 200%.
Yes.
It didn't decrease by 200%. भाई पतंजलि मार्केट शेयर लिया ने मार्केट शेयर बनाया. उस कैसे सोचो ना क्यों सोच नहीं रहे ऐसे.
Yes.
तो वहाँ पे हम लोग को एक चेंज लाना है. And that change is going to be very important. And that is what you guys can bring.
Yeah.
And you guys should like
Then we have the first 100 educators of hemp, and they go out and educate
Yeah.
people, and they create more 100 educators.
It has to be that only.
Yeah.
Syllabuses have to be made from them. Researches have to be done. PhDs have to come out of them. Then only it becomes normal.
Yeah.
It cannot be like a retiring scientist saying, "Arey." I'm not saying that guy is not important.
Yeah.
That's very important. Experience is important. But that guy will only bring that one level of push.
We need like more years also to our
Exactly, because they will bring that changes which
Yeah.
he's not even imagining.
I don't get feared when somebody say, "अरे आप क्यों इसमें घुस गए हो?"
अभी नहीं मैं ही घुसूंगा तो ही नहीं तो पप्पा घुसेंगे तो खुद ही कर पाएंगे. पप्पा तो छोड़ ही देंगे बोलेंगे ये तो भाई बहुत difficult है. So yeah, I can keep on talking, but thank you so much for having me.
Yes.
It's really a pleasure.
Yeah, I
And
called you
always
so
want
many
to
times.